The film opens with a famous kung fu teacher, Lao Guanzhu, teaching a disciple. Called Biggie, Shifu is the name given to Lao Guanzhu. Shifu requested Biggie to deliver a letter after training. Peony, her daughter, he also told her daughter not to blame herself for what had occurred. Shifu was abruptly accosted by a gang of individuals shortly after Biggie departed. One to reign over the hermitage, the assailant's commander was revealed to be Xiong Tianba, Shifu's student. He requested that Shifu present him with his medal and title. Shifu attempted to battle them on his own. He was disoriented, injured, and poisoned. Then, using a smoke bomb and the last of his power, Shifu managed to flee from them, although he was hampered by serious injuries and poisoning. The scene then shifts to a bakery, where a white rabbit, Tu-Er, is baking while doing kung fu movements. He hoped to be a fantastic cook. He went someplace to sell his handmade goods once he finished baking and accidentally ran into someone. It nearly caused him to collapse along with his cake. All of his cakes dropped, and he grumbled. He took them one by one. He unintentionally grasped someone's foot while doing so, which surprised him. Shifu, it turned out, was unconscious as a result of his injuries. Seeing, when an elderly man collapsed in front of him, Tu-Er rushed him inside his home. Shifu was late after he was treating the wound on the mattress. However, Shifu said that the injury could not be healed since the poison was fatal. Shifu passed on all of his kung fu expertise to Tu-Er before he died. He then gave him an order: go visit Tiger's hermitage in Peking City. He also requested that Tu-Er present the award to his daughter, Peony. Shifu died soon after. After a time, Tu-Er was ready to proceed to the city in search of Peony. He traveled across a variety of landscapes, from gorgeous meadows to treacherous terrain to harsh terrain. He didn't feel like he'd arrived in a bamboo jungle. He promptly fell asleep there. Due to tiredness, Tu-Er awoke the next day after hearing someone's voice. It originated from two robbers disguised themselves by painting their bodies. He approached them, seemingly innocently, inquired as to the location of the Tiger Academy. Tu-Er had no idea they were bandits. After that, they robbed him, but he refused to give up his money. He instantly fled, yelling thieves. The two bandits pursued him. Peony, who was with Biggie at the time, was unwittingly watching because of the loudness. Tu-Er is being pursued by bandits. Peony could easily defeat the two criminals, and they ultimately fled while sobbing. Following Peony's rescue, Tu-Er thanked her and inquired about her name. Tu-Er, on the other hand, did not hear Peony speak her name. Clearly, Pony was heard instead of Peony. They then split apart. The action then shifts to Tianba's house. He was drinking and eating meat at the same time. Soon after, several Shifu hermits arrived to inquire about Shifu's present location. He was accused of harming their Shifu. However, Tianba did not, confessed and feigned to be attacked by a group of wolves one night. Shifu, who desired to, he was beaten to death to protect him. But, before Shifu died, he handed Tianba his medal. However, everyone they didn't believe him and demanded confirmation that he had the medal. Rather of presenting the Tianba assaulted them with poison powder as proof. The scene shifts to Peony and Biggie, who are seated on a bench. While swinging and reading a note from her father, Biggie then took Peony home. The other hand, Tu-Er arrived in the city and was taken aback by its beauty. He had to figure it out. He didn't know where to go, so he asked one of the food sellers. The merchant then appeared. He was given instructions. It turns out that Peony and Biggie lived not far from his house. Tu-Er, whoever heard Biggie speak Peony's name, quickly turned around, looking for the owner of the name. However, he had difficulties moving since there were so many guards strolling throughout the city. Meanwhile, Peony was choosing gifts for her father. The elderly vendor informed her that her Tianba's father had gone away for a few days, and now he wanted to be the new master of hermitage of the Tiger. Peony dashed away when she heard it. While Tu-Er was being hauled by the guards, he made up to the front of Tiger Hermitage and attempted to enter. He stumbled onto a job vacancy and applied for a position as a chef's helper there. He was given a job right away. His very first Tianba and his troops were happy since they had completed their mission. Command of the hermitage, Tu-Er became enraged and flung the dish till it shattered. He then yelled in front of everyone who was paying attention. Tu-Er recognized he had made a mistake, so he devised a plan to act in a theatrical production. Tianba, who overheard Tu-Er utter Peony's name, became enraged and inquired as to his identity. It's a good thing the head chef arrived on time. Tu-Er was taken away. Then he informed Tu-Er that saying Peony's name in the spot was banned. Tianba would murder him. Biggie crept inside the hermitage while the guards were falling asleep. He sneaked a peek into the gathering and saw Tianba there. Tianba apprehended him as he attempted to spy on them. Tianba instantly ordered his men to go after Biggie and arrest him. When Biggie was nearly apprehended, Peony saved him right away. They then promptly departed. The next day, the head of the kitchen woke Tu-Er up and urged him to go to work cleaning dishes. When he had just gotten out of the kitchen and was surprised to find so many people practicing kung fu. Tu-Er possessed gotta get past those individuals in order to get to the dishwasher. The plate finally made it through after a valiant effort. Because he fell, the bag he was carrying shattered. He stumbled when everyone Everyone laughed at him when he walked on a banana peel and was punched by a training gadget. And Tuer was fatigued that evening and promptly fell asleep. Peony, on the other hand, was attempting to break into the tiger hermitage. She was able to enter Tianba's room and speak with him. Shifu was mentioned. Tianba lied to Peony about Shifu and gave him the power to become the emperor. A new leader Peony did not trust him and demanded that he present proof of a medal Shifu had received. Given to him, the medal represents the hermitage leader, who was awarded hereditary status. Tianba feigned to display the medal to her. He struck Peony while she was caught off surprise, injuring her arm. Peony. Finally, Tianba's residence was abandoned. Tianba, on the other hand, continued to pursue her. He was dangling on Peony's soaring kite. Tianba soon slid off the kite, due to Biggie's assistance. They got away. However, since Peony was injured, they were unable to go far. Tianba, who was aware of it, instructed his troops to find and arrest Peony right away. Tuer, who was carrying the water, said Biggie's cries for aid were misheard. She went straight to the source of the scream. Tuer arrived and saw Biggie and Peony unconscious. Then he led them to a location where was no longer in use. Tuer treated Peony and provided her medication there. He also brought food for us. Peony and Biggie were together till Peony recovered. When Peony saw Tuer cooking, she assumed he was a chef. An undercover kung fu master. Tuer then returned to the hermitage kitchen to assist with the cooking. Working there when they arrived, one of the workers informed them that someone had invaded the hermitage the night before. She had a lady dressed in black and a little rabbit who flew away in a kite. Tuer, who heard it, turned into a Peony made me suspect, so I decided to question her in the morning. Tuer had a dream while sleeping. A strange dream. He fantasized of meeting Shifu. He inquired of Shifu as to how he might locate his daughter. Shifu said that the only way he could locate his daughter was to utilize the kung fu he had. After then, Tuer, he responded that he couldn't perform kung fu. He was merely a bunny that enjoyed cooking and cleaning. The resident Shifu then asked Tuer whether he had kung fu in him. Shifu then vanished, and Tuer awoke. Tuer seemed enlightened after the dream, and he had discovered his latent strength. He did everything. Using the kung fu action, you may do anything from cleaning dishes and chopping wood to getting water. He may even quickly pass a group of guys practicing kung fu in front of the kitchen without losing the platter. Once more, Tuer returned from work to see Peony, who was healing and enjoying a game. The backyard. They spoke on a variety of topics, including Tuer's origins. He informed Peony that he traveled to the city in search of a girl named Peony. She was the daughter of an elderly man whom he had rescued. Peony was taken aback and inquired where Tuer was working now. Tuer said that he worked in Tiger Hermitage kitchen, is here to assist the cooks. Peony, who was feeling deceived at the moment, promptly collapsed. Silence and abruptly exited. Tuer was perplexed by Peony's demeanor and assumed something was wrong. His statements were incorrect. Tuer felt bad after that and went to visit Peony the next day. But he had no idea he was being followed by Tianba's guys at the time. When I arrived to Peony's, Tianba's soldiers realized Tuer had been concealing Peony. They apprehended Tuer and imprisoned him in the basement of the Tiger Hermitage. When Tuer was imprisoned, the Tiger Hermitage staged a tournament to entertain him. Choose who would be the next master. A large crowd had assembled, including several kung fu practitioners, fu pupils who arrived. Tianba soon appeared to deliver a speech. He claimed to have replaced the tournament winner's hereditary medal was replaced with a new one. Everyone in the room yelled in opposition to what Tianba was stating. Then he went on to say that everybody who disagreed with him was wrong. Decision had no choice but to enter the arena and battle him. If he is successful in beating him, Tianba will stand down as the Hermitage's leader and chairman. The combatants from are being eliminated one by one. The Hermitage of the second Hermitage started to rise to the arena. Lao Siam, a turtle, was the first combatant. He said that he would only accept Tianba's replacement for Shifu if he could see Shifu's medal. Tianba then rose from his seat and faced him straight. They began their battle, which lasted many minutes. Location aggressively in the arena. Tianba, surrounded by Lao's strike, drew the dark power from his bag hand and attacked him right away. Tianba defeated Lao, who was knocked unconscious. Tianba immediately began yelling and daring anybody who dared to attack him. Not long after that, two tigers approached him and challenged him to a fight. Both tigers utilized swords as weapons. Tianba followed suit. I grabbed a weapon and prepared to battle. The three of them engaged in a furious fighting. Unfortunately, the strength disparity between the tiger and Tianba was big enough to cause Tianba must be successful in beating the tiger one by one. After being vanquished by Tianba, no one dared to challenge him until Peony and Biggie arrived. They are both. Tianba was challenged to a battle. Tianba consented quickly, and the combat started. Peony, who had been Tianba, was cornered because of his skill with swords. However, Tianba, who was on the verge of defeat, instead employed a devious method. He requested assistance from his two guys who had been prepared for the event. Peony, Peony grew fatigued as a result of having to defeat so many opponents and eventually gave up, allowing Tianba to assault her. Tu'er, who was inside the jail, sensed that Peony was in danger. He was promptly released from prison. By increasing his actual power when it rose, Tu'er was catapulted all the way up to the skies. Meanwhile, Tianba, who planned to finish Peony, was astonished to witness a vortex in the battle ring. Clouds emerge unexpectedly on it. Tu'er appeared from above the clouds. Following a successful landing, he verified that the woman's name was Peony, not Pony. Tu'er said that he wanted to present Shifu's medal to her. However, Tianba instructed Tu'er to present the medal to him. Tu'er instantly declined, which enraged Tianba. He attempted to seize Tu'er's hand with force. Even Peony attempted to defend Tu'er, but she was no match. Tianba soon took him down since he was no longer able to fight. Seeing Peony on the verge of being stabbed, Tu'er instantly hurled the medal at Tianba's sword, without a second thought, resulting in its crushing. Then he rescued Peony, while Tianba was pleased since he was able to get his award. Tu'er attempted to reclaim the medal, but Tianba's men got into the way. Arena, ready to apprehend him, they encircled and assaulted him. Tu'er, who had already mastered Kung Fu, annihilate them all. He was successful in defeating Tianba's soldiers. They were terrified and fled unknowingly. From that location, Tianba advanced to confront him after seeing all of his soldiers defeated. To begin with, Tu'er was repeatedly assaulted till he collapsed, but he wanted to continue and then pull out his moves and successfully beat Tianba for a brief while. Everyone who saw the battle became quiet. Tu'er accepted the award and presented it to Peony. She was quite thankful to him. Tu'er, after the battle, Peony and Biggie were lying in a meadow, enjoying a calm and tranquil day. Peony inquired of Tu'er whether he had no desire to become a kung fu master. He said that all he wanted was to be a better person. From now on, Baker. During their talk, someone suddenly screamed for help. The movie ended as the three of them hurried to aid. The moral that may be drawn from it: this film embodies the virtue of compassion. We may learn to aid people in need from the narrative of Tu'er. No matter who they are, Tu'er learned his actual self by first assisting Shifu. Strength: he's made a new best friend by supporting Peony. Another advantage that this film has: the message is not to be greedy for power, since greed only leads to ruin.